we've lost this art of dialogue.
Yeah.
We've lost the art of communication, where it's like, hey, I'm going to hear what you have to say. You hear what I have to say. And then we'll glean some wisdom like you're sharing from each other. We've lost this art form. Why do you think we've lost it? Because we have.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is life is very fast paced. We've fallen into that belief of we need growth. We need to always be in growth. And in that, because that's mainly an economic statement, then everyone's lives are so much busier now than they ever were historically. So if we're looking at things evolutionarily, even now, today, and in the past 100 years, as anthropologists would go and like they would meet different tribes that had never connected with the Western world, they would notice first there's a whole different pace. There's a lot more play. There's a lot more family time. And how much do they work? Not as much as you would think. You know, they're not working the 4-hour work week, but they're, you know, maybe 10 to 15 to 20 hours of gathering, hunting, whatever they're doing, and the rest is play. And they will say one thing. A lot of the times they say when they start seeing what the Western world has to offer, they're very intrigued. And they also, then they have this word come up where they're like, I'm kind of bored with not enough to do. So I think with us, with the Western world, I should say, we've gotten to this point where we're just a little too hectic with our lives, but it doesn't mean we need to dial it back to the way our ancestors lived.
Yeah.
We just need to really drop into the groove. And I'm sure like any runners would know this, like there's a certain pace that you hit. Slower would actually be harder. Faster would be harder. But when you hit that pocket, it's like something's carrying you. So for me, I think that we communicate according to our nervous system a lot of the times. When we don't have much time, and I've noticed this as a parent, when I have so much work to do and my daughter's like, Papa, look at this. Papa, come here, do this. Hey, let's go play. I notice this thing inside me that's like, I don't have time for this. And then I'm like, time for my daughter. Like, you know, I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I think when we feel like we need to get more done and we need to be productive all the time, then our communication reflects how much time we think we have. And then we get irritated by things that are outside of the plan and the schedule that we've made in our minds, even subconsciously. And I think we also, you know, Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication, just read that. And then you'll come to understand that a lot of it is, we don't have the time. So when somebody's saying something and we disagree, we don't have the time to do that integral next step, which is, let me echo back what I think I heard from you so you can tell me whether I actually heard you correctly first, rather than let's skip to step 3 and just be like, I disagree, here's why. Because then what that does for the person on the other side is like, I don't even think you understood what I talked about. But they don't say that. They just hop to their step 3. And it turns into that kind of like, well, obviously we're never going to agree on this.
Yeah.
And it's in those little nuances, those step 2s that we're always jumping over, or step 1s, I should say, that we're always jumping over, which is, how is this good that we don't see eye to eye? Where's the beauty? Where's the gift in the fact that we don't see the world the same way? There was somebody just on the Aubrey Marcus podcast that was saying, you know, what do you do with people with anxiety? Nowadays, you medicate them, or you say, I can't hang out with X, Y, and Z. They're making my nervous system on edge. What did we do back in the day? Who in the tribe, what archetype would they be? Well, the anxious people, the nervous, skeptical people, you put them on the periphery as the lookouts, right? So everybody had their role. And so who would we be if we were tribe? Even if we don't agree, even if there's a lot of friction when we come together, how is that good? Without enough time, when we need to be in growth and productivity mode all the time, we don't really pore over those nuances as much. We just think of, how did it irritate me? How can I now distance myself from those people a little more?